1997, Bridgestone is taking up the challenge of Formula One. Formula One, the summit of motorsport. Bridgestone.
Souvent et toujours, je me souviens.
So there you are, the most romantic city in the world.
C'est le printemps.
But on this trip, that special someone by your side is not your wife. It's a cost consultant named Ted. Why not share Paris with someone you truly love? AT&T Direct Service makes it simple. Just dial the AT&T access number for the country you're in.
Hi, honey.
And an English-speaking AT&T operator or voice prompt will connect you fast.
Do you miss me?
More than you know.
It's the least we can do for the weary business traveler, especially when he's visiting the world's most romantic city, accompanied by the world's most unromantic man.
Boy, wouldn't you love to come back with your wife? Why?
Look for the AT&T access numbers now in the Herald Tribune and USA Today. Your true choice, AT&T.
Skalpell, Tupfer, Schere, Sonnenmilch, Badelatschen.
Na, urlaubsreif? Das große Reisespecial. Jetzt im TV-Spielfilm.
The thing I love most is opening people's eyes to new ideas.
We've got to stay up to speed and cutting edge on what might be happening and taking place in these emerging countries.
Investing in an emerging market brings capital and resources to that market.
It's exciting to watch the transformation of the region and realize that we've been a part of it and we've made a difference.
Leno. Online, direct to Europe, live from Los Angeles. The chat show king, Jay Leno, is waiting to talk to you. Simply hit the NBC Europe website, www.nbceurope.com, on Friday, May 23rd, 1930 CET, 1830 UK, for your chance to ask Jay anything. Get interactive with Jay Leno, online and live from Los Angeles, exclusive to NBC.
Here is this week's NBC Interactive Question of the Week. European film production was a big topic at Cannes this year. Would you be willing to pay a small tax to advance the European film industry? Yes or no? To cast your vote, go to the NBC Europe website at www.nbceurope.com. Cast your vote today and look for the results next week. Now, here are the results from last week's question, which asked, in light of the first defeat of a chess grandmaster by a machine, can an unbeatable chess computer be developed? 60% of NBC viewers responding said yes, while 40% believe humans will always be superior. Once again, this week's question is, European film production was a big topic at Cannes this year. Would you be willing to pay a small tax to advance the European film industry? Yes or no? To cast your vote, go to the NBC Europe website at www.nbceurope.com. Cast your vote today and look for the results next week of the NBC Interactive Question of the Week.
Welcome back. So, did you recognise this American IndyCar competitor who raced in the 1989 Formula Opel Euroseries? If so, well done. Formula Opel's debut season in 1988 had established the category as a springboard for aspiring young talent. And the 10 rounds 1989 Euro Series additionally offered the opportunity to perform at 6 Formula One Grand Prix events. Pre-season favourites were 1988 championship runner-up Henrik Larsson of Denmark and fellow front-runners Dutchman Peter Cox and Brazil's Eduardo Neto. But they would all have to contend with a flood of promising newcomers from around the globe. Newcomers like Hideki Noda, 4 times the Japanese karting champion. Swede Peter Asland, switching from rallying to racing. Italian Vincenzo Sospiri, a Formula Ford ace. And Brazilian hotshot Paolo Carcaschi. A wet Nürburgring was the setting for the season opener. Dutchman Cox led away from Larsen at the start, but chaos erupted behind. Mercifully, thanks to the strength of the Reynard chassis, no one was hurt, and the marshals quickly cleared the track of debris. In drying conditions, Larsen closed on Cox and finally passed the Dutchman with 2 laps to go to take the opening win of the season. Rain also figured in round 2 at Austria's scenic Österreich-ring. Larsen led from pole, opening a gap to Asland and NATO, who diced for second. Caught out by the slippery surface, NATO fell to 4th behind Karkaski, but fought back to 3rd at the flag as Larsen claimed a victory. Sunshine at Paul Ricard in France for the year's first Grand Prix support event. After a frantic start, Peter Cox and the fast-improving Nodar came through to set the pace. Behind the Dutchman and the Japanese, a torrid battle was developing between Asland, Larsen, NATO and Karkaski. Cox's win moved him firmly into title contention, while Nodar enjoyed his first Euroseries podium. British Formula Vauxhall Series competitors dominated the Euroseries race at their home Grand Prix. Scot Anthony Reid heading the 44-car field in front of 180,000 fans. The packed entry produced plenty of incident, but no injuries. As Reid stretched his lead, Nodar lost second with this over-ambitious move on Eugene O'Brien. Larsen was to suffer a puncture on the final lap, robbing him of maximum Euroseries points. Meanwhile, Anthony Reid cruised imperiously to a well-deserved home win. Another Grand Prix weekend, another record crowd at Hockenheim, and another pole for NATO. The lively scrap between Cox and Karkaski became the battle for the lead, with poleman NATO's retirement on lap 4. The sustained fight left both cars battle-scarred, but Cox prevailed, taking victory and moving into the lead of the series. Knudstorp in Sweden promised yet another confrontation between the title contenders, but they both found themselves outclassed by NATO. After a poor start from pole, the Brazilian recovered superbly, storming to a masterful first Euroseries win, the result leaving Cox and Larsen level on points. Buoyed by his Swedish win, NATO was once again on pole at Zandvoort and led the early going. But the man on the move in Holland was Hideki Nodar. The Japanese overtook Cox and Larsen and was soon harrying the leader. They collided on lap 24, though both recovered to finish in the points. Lucky Larsen inherited the win, boosting his title hopes. The Euroseries rejoined the Grand Prix trail at Spa in appalling conditions. Cox grabbed the lead at the first turn. Poleman NATO and his Italian teammate Paolo Di Cristofaro struggling to fend off Larsen. Always a master in mixed conditions, the fearless Dane dispatched NATO on lap 4. Putting the moves on Di Cristofaro with the overtaking manoeuvre of the season 5 laps later. But But it was too late to challenge Cox for the win, leaving the championship rivals separated by a single point with 2 rounds remaining. NATO claimed his 5th consecutive pole position in Portugal, joined on the front row by Peter Asland. But Larsson quickly demoted the young Swede at the start, and Cox was not slow to follow suit. Cox attacked Larsson repeatedly, but the Dane refused to succumb to the pressure, extending his points lead as Brazilian NATO claimed his 2nd win of the year. Spain. And for the 2nd year running, Larsson found himself one of the protagonists in a 2-man championship showdown. 3 points. In Holland was Hideki Noda. The Japanese overtook Cox and Larsson and were soon harrying the leader. They collided on lap 24, though both recovered to finish in the points. A lucky Larsson inherited the win, boosting his title hopes. The Euroseries rejoined the Grand Prix trail at Spa in appalling conditions. Cox grabbed the lead at the first turn. Poleman NATO and his Italian teammate Paolo Di Cristofaro struggling to fend off Larsson. Always a master in mixed conditions, the fearless Dane dispatched NATO on lap 4. Putting the moves on Di Cristofaro with the overtaking manoeuvre of the season 5 laps later. But it was too late to challenge Cox for the win, leaving the championship rivals separated by a single point with 2 rounds remaining. NATO claimed his 5th consecutive pole position in Portugal, joined on the front row by Peter Asland. But Larsson quickly demoted the young Swede at the start, and Cox was not slow to follow suit. Attacked Larsson repeatedly, but the Dane refused to succumb to the pressure, extending his points lead as Brazilian NATO claimed his 2nd win of the year. Jerez, Spain. And for the 2nd year running, Larsson found himself one of the protagonists in a 2-man championship showdown. 3 points separated the Dane and his Dutch rival. But the pair were surprisingly off form. Cox started 7th, Larsson a fateful 13th. Although British Series star Vincenzo Sospiri led from pole, all eyes were on the middle of the pack when Dutchman Allard Kalf triggered a first-turn incident which forced Larsson into the gravel and out of the race. Cox was unaware of the Dane's misfortune, and he diced desperately for position with Asland. But at the end of the first lap, the sight of Larsson's car on a crane told Cox 7th place would be enough to take the title. Larsson could only look on in frustration. Sospiri ran out the winner, but it was Cox, overjoyed, who crossed the line in 5th to take the championship. Bad luck may have sidelined Larsson, but new champion Cox was the only Euroseries driver to score in every round, and he won the same number of races as the Dane. He was indeed a worthy champion. 10-year history of Formula Opel boasts an almost unrivaled record when it comes to throwing up new talent. Opel's Peter Floor gives us his thoughts on the future of the category.
The Formula Opel is the most successful formula manufacturers formula in the monoposto series ever been. Second of all, I believe if you look at the history and how many very successful drivers of today's Formula 1 event came out of Formula Opel, Formula Opel is really the event which produces young talents and really gets young talents into professionalism. If you had a successful series like this, you should not just let it go and let it finish. I think you have to continue. So I think we have to reconsider what kind of concept with some kind of a different modern technology we'll have to use. So we'll definitely come up with an answer during this year. And I think the formula has to continue with Opel because you never let a successful story like this discontinue.
Join us next time as we recap the fraught 1990 Formula Opel Euroseries title battle and take in all the action from this year's European Union Series races at the awesome Spa-Francorchamps.
You're watching NBC.